The topic for today's e-content is glass ionomer cement. We are specifically going to see about the setting mechanism and manipulation of glass ionomer cement. Glass ionomer cement was given by Wilson and Kent in 1972. And have you ever wondered why is it called glass ionomer? It's for a simple fact that it consists of powder and liquid. The powder consists of glass particles, whereas the liquid consists of polyacrylic acid. So the glass particles is known as glass from the glass ionomer cement, and they, after the setting reaction, form an ionic bond with the tooth structure. That's why ionomer for ionic bond, and hence the name glass ionomer cement. Before going to its setting mechanism, let us just brush up about the composition of glass ionomer cement. It consists of powder and liquid. So to simply remember, the powder consists of calcium, fluoro, aluminum, silicate glass. So in simple terms, you have to remember that it consists of calcium, it consists of fluoride, it consists of aluminium, and it consists of silicate glass. In addition to it, the liquid majorly consists of 48% of acid, which is a combination of polyacrylic acid along with itaconic acid and malic acid. The purpose of these acids is to reduce the viscosity so that you do not get a thicker mixture of glass ionomer cement at a much earlier stage. And you also have tartaric acid, which improves its setting reaction so that you can work with the glass ionomer cement for a longer time. Another important ingredient which causes the hydration of the whole matrix is what? Is water. So to briefly remember three things. The powder consists of calcium, fluoro, alumino, silicate glass, whereas the liquid consists of polyacrylic acid and water, which are the major components. So coming into the four steps of the setting reaction, we have dissolution. We have the initial setting reaction where the calcium cross-linking takes place. We have the final setting reaction where the aluminium cross-linking takes place. And at the end, we have the maturation in which we have the whole matrix which is formed. So what is this dissolution? Let us see with a schematic diagram. Basically, when polyacrylic acid from the liquid comes and attacks the glass powder particles, you remember we said calcium, fluoro, alumino, silicate glass, all these ions they leach out of from the glass, which is calcium, the aluminium, the silicate, the fluoride. These ions they leach out. So that is called the dissolution or the ion leaching phase, where the polyacid will extract the ions from the glass particles. Following which the initial reaction takes place. That is nothing but it happens in the first 4 to 10 minutes, where these calcium ions, since they are doubly charged and they are ionically bond, they will go and replace the hydrogen ions in the polyacrylic acid. So the COOH will be replaced by COO calcium, Ca. And that is how the calcium polysols are formed. These are the initial cross-linking polyacrylates which are formed. So it's called calcium polysols or calcium polyacrylate. Following which, after 24 hours, these calcium ions are replaced by the trivalent aluminium ions. Now, the aluminium ions are much stronger than the calcium ions, but it takes time for it to leach out of the glass particles as hydration process has to take place, and it slowly leaches out these aluminium particles. Once these aluminium particles leach out, they replace the calcium ions which were there earlier, and they form a much stronger cross-linking with the help of aluminium polysols or aluminium polyacrylate. So calcium polysols partially or 75% are replaced by aluminium polyacrylate salt. So now we have the calcium and aluminium polysols. These form the cross link. So what does the final maturation or matrix takes place? This matrix they keep hydrolyzing over a period of time, and the final set matrix consists of, in the center you will have unreacted glass particles which wouldn't have undergone any reaction. And you remember there were also silicate ions which leached. So these silicate ions, they form a silicaceous hydrogel surrounding these unreacted glass particles. So we have unreacted glass particles which are surrounded by the silicaceous hydrogen in an amorphous matrix of calcium and aluminum polysols. This is the final set product of glass ionomer cement. Right? So maturation which takes place more over 24 hours to 1 year, and that's why it looks like more tooth color. So now we are going to see the manipulation of type 1 GIC and type 2 GIC. So first we are going to see the manipulation of type 2 GIC. Here I have the powder and here I have the liquid. As you can see on the powder, we have one scoop of the powder, and we have a drop like picture which says 1 drop of your liquid. That is the consistency in which we mix the glass ionomer cement. Apart from that, we have a gauge spatula, we have a scoop, and we have a paper pad. So take one paper pad from the bunch of paper pads given. First, always dispense the powder. So you have a seal, open the seal. I said 1 scoop of your powder. So while taking, you can remove the excess in this way so that you have exactly 1 scoop, and you dispense it. Right? Now, close the bottle and dispense 1 drop of your liquid. Now you have to see to it that when you dispense the liquid, your bottle is vertically tilted completely. So that is exactly 1 drop. Now divide the powder into 2 halves. So glass ionomer powder is never mixed in a round motion, it is mixed in a patting motion. So first half you take and you wet the particles. And now in a scooping or folding motion, you're going to manipulate it the first 5 seconds. Now take the second half, and in the same folding motion, you have to manipulate till you get a smooth consistency. Now you do not want to disturb the glass particles. That is the reason you do not do it in a circular motion and you do it in a patting or folding motion. So your mixing time would be around 30 to 40 seconds. And your working time would be just about 2 minutes. Right? So when you mix, this is how your consistency would be, which would be glossy in consistency, which means you've mixed it perfectly. So while we saw the manipulation of type 2 GIC, which is a type of a restorative material, we now move on to type 1 GIC, which is used for luting and lining cement. That could be luting your crowns. So now as we can see, it's 1 and 2. 1 scoop of your powder with 2 drops of your liquid to get a string-like consistency so that you can use it for luting your crowns. The same armamentarium, powder liquid, your scoop, a gauge spatula, and your paper pad. So we take exactly 1 scoop of your powder, remove the excess, take it out on the paper pad, and take 2 drops, 1, 2, by completely vertically tilting your bottle and closing the lid as soon as you've dispensed the liquid. So now again divide it into 2, and in the same motion we will manipulate or mix the powder and the liquid. It's the patting or the folding motion. So over here you will have a slightly fluid consistency, and the way to check is you have to do a string test, which we will show you shortly. So to
Keep mixing it till you get a proper consistency, till all the powder particles have been incorporated into your liquid and you get a smooth consistency. So for a string test, you just have to take your spatula a bit up and check if you get a string. So once you get this, which means you can take your cement and use it for the required purpose.